Hi, I'm Antoinette. I'm a life coach, a wife, and mom to my incredible son, Max. Now, our story is both heartbreaking and beautiful, and I always say that I am just the luckiest mom in the world. When I felt pregnant at 45, it was the surprise of a lifetime. I never imagined that I'd be a mother, and suddenly I was just given this miraculous second chance at life. But because of my age, I tried to stay grounded because I knew there could be risks. But I couldn't help dreaming about this tiny little human who had already changed everything. My pregnancy went well, though I was constantly exhausted and nauseous, and still I was grateful every single day until suddenly at 27 weeks, everything changed. Max was born weighing just under 900 grams, barely 30 centimeters long, and he literally fit into the palm of my hand. He was immediately taken to ICU, and that began the journey I wish no parent ever having to experience. Those 9 months were a blur of fear and hope and love because he was so premature. His lungs and stomach weren't fully developed. He had multiple surgeries, including a tracheotomy, and he had a feeding tube, and he was constantly fighting infections. Now, I could probably only hold him twice in the 9 months. Twice. All the bonding moments that I dreamed of, the breastfeeding, the cuddles, the walks, were replaced by the sound of machines and whispered prayers. And going home without my baby was unbearable, but I never doubted that he'd make it. I just knew we had to keep going, one breath, one day, one heartbeat at a time. And when Max finally came home, it was pure joy and, of course, utter chaos. He was still on oxygen and a feeding tube. We had regular blackouts in South Africa, so I had to make sure that we always had backup tanks ready. Going anywhere meant planning a COVID operation, but somehow we managed. And in that exhaustion and worry, I discovered something, my strength. I realized that I could do hard things, really hard things. And I kept showing up with love. But when the adrenaline finally faded, my body began to crash. All the stress, the fear, the sleepless nights had caught up with me, and my health became severely compromised. I was constantly run down in and out of doctors' offices, and oftentimes, hospitalized. And I remember thinking, if I don't change something, I won't have the energy to care for Max the way he needs me. And that was my wake up call. I knew I couldn't just keep pushing through. Something inside had to shift. Now, during those early years, and when Max was around 4, I discovered coaching, and it quietly but profoundly changed everything. At first, it wasn't about business or success, it was about survival. It was about learning how to sit with my emotions instead of fighting them. It was how to recognize my thoughts and the ones that kept me trapped in worry and gently shift them into something more empowering. And coaching helped me see that while I couldn't control what was happening around me, I could always choose how I wanted to think and feel about it. And that changed things for me. I started feeling calmer. I began responding to challenges with intention instead of reacting out of fear. I learned to trust myself again and to stop searching for someone else to tell me what was right for my child. And I started to believe in my own intuition. And that inner transformation was slow, but it was powerful. And it started to show up in my outer world as well. When I met Mark, my now husband, during the pandemic, I was the most grounded emotional space that I've ever been in. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't looking for someone to fix or to save me. I was whole, and that wholeness is what drew him in. Mark didn't see us as a project. He simply joined the journey with love and humor and acceptance. And in many ways, he became the first physical manifestation of my self coaching. He was the evidence that when you change on the inside, life starts reflecting that change back to you. And from that point forward, everything felt different. The same challenges were still there: autism, school, transitions, but my experience of them had changed. And coaching had given me the emotional foundation to navigate this life with peace and curiosity and even joy. It became my way of living, a daily practice of awareness, compassion, and deliberate creation. And with that new mindset, I started saying yes to life again. I love to travel. And from the time Max was small, we went everywhere: flights, road trips, adventures. People often said, "You're so brave." But to me, it wasn't bravery, it was love. It was choosing to live fully, even if it wasn't easy. And when Mark and I eventually moved to the US, we decided to make it official. We got married here, and it felt like another beautiful new beginning. Starting over was hard because there's new systems, there are new schools, it's new everything. But once again, we have found our rhythm. And through all the ups and downs, Max remained the happiest, most loving soul. And as I watched how coaching continued to transform every part of my life, my health, my relationships, my peace, I knew I had to share it, because if I could go from fear and exhaustion to calm and fulfillment while raising a high needs child, then so could other parents. That's why I became a life coach for parents of autistic children, because I want them to know, I want you to know, your life is not over. You are not broken, and neither is your child. You can create a life that feels peaceful and joyful and uniquely yours. You can still have dreams and goals and purpose, and your child can thrive alongside you. Now, this work isn't about fixing anyone, it's about becoming the kind of person who can lead with calm and love and possibility, no matter what that life looks like on paper. My life doesn't look normal, and that's exactly how I want it. It's messy, it's loud, it's unpredictable, but it's filled with love and laughter and growth. And Max has taught me more about courage, connection, and presence than anyone ever could. And through our journey, I've learned that you don't have to wait for your life to get easier before you start living. You can live inspired right now, right here, in the middle of it all. I'm Antoinette, and this is our story. Welcome to Live Life Inspired with Autism.